Okay, what's good? What's going on? Back again with another video, another day. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about some of my biggest and best tips for when you come to Colombia. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so the number one tip I would say is learn Spanish. Learn Spanish, learn Spanish, learn Spanish. I couldn't think of a bigger tip and bigger set of advice to give someone. Learning Spanish is everything here. Although the English proficiency has been improving over the recent years, amongst the younger generations to speak more English, of course, this still doesn't take away from the fact that the overall general level of English proficiency amongst the Colombian population is pretty low, to be honest. So it's true that you can enjoy yourself, you can have a good time, of course, coming to Colombia and not speaking any English, but if you really want that true, authentic, local, immersive experience and to really connect with the local people, whether it be for making friendships or potential new relationships, you really need to learn Spanish. So this can open the doors to really gaining that rewarding and priceless experience that really makes your time here priceless and worthwhile. So definitely need to learn Spanish, even if it's just the basic Spanish. That can still go a long way, to be honest with you. Just the normal greetings, normal phrases, helps so much, to be honest. And ideally, the basic Spanish, the basic to decent Spanish is ideal, and honestly, it can change so much for you. It opens up so many doors to new connections, possibilities of people you can meet. So learning Spanish, definitely the number one tip I'd give to anyone that's coming to Colombia. Okay, so the second tip that I'd give someone now, that I'd really recommend, is to try and live like a local. Now, if you're coming in for a trip, of course, that's a slight exception. If you're coming for a 1 or 2 week vacation trip, you want to go crazy, have a great time, visit all the sites in a short amount of time. I mean, that's great, and of course, but for the people like myself, for the ever-growing amount of people that are becoming, expats, remote workers, nomads, that are spending several months in the country, living like a local is the key. Of course, one of the main reasons for this is to try and utilize and be more cost efficient than being the typical tourist. So when I say live like a local, I mean, stay in the local neighborhoods where locals stay and there aren't many tourists and foreigners staying there. It doesn't have to be a place where there's no foreigners or tourists. For example, where I'm staying in a part of Laureles, it's a very popular neighborhood with expats, but it's more so for people that actually live here and stay here, as opposed to the 1 or 2 week, vacationers that come here. So, and despite this, the majority of the people, to be honest, are still Colombian. To be honest, it's still, you get that local authentic experience and feel, but at the same time you have that access to the international amenities, and also you have that community as well of some foreigners that you'll see now and then. You'll see a couple of them in most places, but it's not overrun by foreigners, and it doesn't have so much that Americanized international feel. So living like a local is the key, and of course, not just by where you're staying, but how you're living as well. Are you ordering Rappi every day, or are you, going to the supermarkets? Are you going to the fruit markets? Are you going to the fruit stores? Doing your shopping, cooking, making use of all of the great foods and options available to you as well. So yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons as well why living like a local is great. It just gives you that closer connection and immersion to the culture and way of living, and also you're saving money as well, because Colombia is a considerably affordable country for any Westerner coming from Europe, the United States, Canada, or Australia, but that's not to take away from the fact that just like anywhere in the world, prices have gone up. You can still save money by just applying the core principles of, not eating out 3 meals a day, eating out 1 meal a day or something, and then doing some cooking, and having that sort of balance really that not only is beneficial for your health, but also beneficial for your budget as well. Even if you have higher budget and higher barriers to what you expect, it's still always worthwhile to try and practice a good cost efficiency. So yeah, living like a local definitely helps with that as well. So another tip that I'd recommend. Okay, and my next tip now would be to don't just stay in one place. Venture out, explore the country, because sure, there might be a couple of places that you have in mind before you come here that you feel like you're gonna stay and settle, but I would recommend to really see some of the different options available in regions of the country first, just so you can have a feel and a sense of being as to know which place is right for you, because what's right for me might not be right for you, and vice versa. So if Medellin is the place that's right for me and I know it's the right place for me to stay, that doesn't mean that, for example, Cali might not be the option for you, or Cartagena, or Santa Marta, or Barranquilla, for example. So I'd say explore, venture out, have a sense of what's the right kind of like vibe, energy, kind of place that fits your sort of needs and interests first, and then make the decision. There's no rush. I'd say to really explore, venture out, know what's right for you, and then make that decision as to where you'd like to be based, instead of just jumping right into one place. Even though you feel like it might be the place for you, just keep that in mind as well, because nothing's a guarantee, and there's no exception for coming here as well, for that being the same case. So venture out, explore some of the places in the country, and also not just for places to be based, but also just because to take advantage of the sheer abundance of beauty and incredible landscapes and geographical regions of the country that Colombia has to offer, which are truly incredible. So yeah, definitely one of the best countries in that regard. So I definitely take advantage of that, especially if you're staying here for a longer time as well. So yeah, explore some different regions and see what's right for you. Okay, so my next tip now that I'd recommend for people that come to Colombia is to is to not bring that sort of arrogant, sort of ignorant mindset, that sort of Western mentality when you come here. I know, of course, when you come here, you want to feel like you might feel like you're on top of the world, you're the boss. I mean, of course, when you come here, you might feel like, you have that empowerment and power to, of course, use your foreign currency and, use the fact that, you come from another country to your advantage, whether it be for making the most of opportunities or meeting people and so forth. But I think it's very important to not only get carried away, but just also, I think, just having some respect. I mean, of course, you want to have a good time, you want to enjoy life, because that's why that's what you should have when you come to Colombia. You should enjoy life, embrace life for what it has, and all of the great things that the country has to offer. But that's not to disregard the fact that you're above or superior to the people here just because you have more money and more status of being a Western citizen, for example. So, and this is important as well for in regards to safety, because standing out from the others, showing people that you have excess amount of resources and that you're a foreigner is never a good idea, to be honest. Especially if you're coming here for a short trip as well, and you want to stay in the tourist areas and you want to feel like you're staying in the best places. It's definitely not a good idea. I wouldn't recommend it. Also, just to show respect overall. So Colombians are very welcoming and happy people, but at the same time, it's never appreciated to really be arrogant and sort of inconsiderate to the people and how they view things and how things are for them. So for your own personal safety and also for respect of the country and territory, definitely not good to bring that sort of mindset, and in other words, to be open-minded. So, and that leads to my next recommendation, which is, well, this is more of a general sort of tip, but don't feel like you have to travel to Colombia with someone else. You can travel here by yourself. Of course, we all, maybe if it's our first time coming to a country, especially if it's a country like Colombia, we might feel like we need that urge to travel with someone, maybe be a friend from back home, just to feel like we have that reassurance that we're not by ourselves, we can enjoy and do things with someone else to sort of watch out for us. But I wouldn't necessarily say that's the only way to think, because if you have that mentality and you can only really travel to a place with someone else, then you're really limiting yourself to have to do something with someone else, and you can't trust your own instincts and your own self-belief and like encouragement to actually do that. So Don't rely on someone else to do something. If you really want to travel to a place and really embrace it, then you would do it regardless you go with a friend or not. So I think embrace your own self-desires, embrace your own dreams and aspirations you have, and you'll feel the need to not really rely on anyone else or do things with other people, because you'll meet other people when you come here. There's an abundance of local people that will show you around. They're very hospitable people, and also other foreigners as well, long-time expats, that have perhaps been here for years. You reach out to them, see them, they'll give you the tips and advice as well. So don't feel like you have to go with someone else. You can do your own thing at your own pace, how you'd like to. And I always feel like that's probably the best way to do things anyway. I mean, that's cool to travel with other people and stuff, but it's impossible to not make any sort of compromise or sacrifice when you're with other people, because he wants to do this at this month at this time, she wants to do that, he wants to do this, we have to leave at that time, we're going to go there for that many days, but I want to go stay there for X amount of days. So yeah, I'd say just do things in your own time, be open-minded, and don't feel the need you have to travel with someone else. Okay, so my next recommendation would be, now this might seem a little silly and probably not the most sort of solid advice, but me personally, I wouldn't come here with my partner or girlfriend if I'm traveling from another country, whether it be like Europe or something. Of course, unless your partner's Colombian, of course, then that makes perfect reason to do this. But the reason why I say this is because, I'm just gonna keep it real. Colombia, in my opinion, I've been to a few other countries, Latin American countries, and there are a lot of beautiful women, but I'd probably say without doubt, Colombia, especially a city like Medellin, for example, depends on your personal interests and likings, but Medellin and Colombia in general, without doubt, has the highest concentration of beautiful women you'll probably ever see, and arguably in the world. So, and the reason why I say this is because maybe you might have some regrets and think, oh, should I really be with someone? Because it's everywhere, it's inescapable. You go to the supermarket, the shopping mall, the gym, and you go to the gym, it's like a different world, you feel like you're in some different universe. It's just unbelievable. So if you travel with a partner from back home, it's gonna cause some problems for sure. That's not to say that of course it's gonna be a problem, but you might have second thoughts about your situation, you feel me? Because it's just it's something else, just stunning women everywhere, anywhere you go, concentration's unbelievable, the femininity and just overall sweet sort of nature, the physique, super voluptuous, very welcoming. It's mind-blowing, and part of me thinks it's kind of a blessing in disguise to not be in that situation. But and this is not to say that every person every couple that comes here is gonna have a problem, but I'm just saying it might make you reconsider some things just about life in general. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, but that's not to say that you should. But I personally wouldn't do it myself. Not that I would know, but I couldn't see myself doing it if I was in that situation anyway. So so yeah, that's what I'd recommend as well. My next recommendation, this sort of leads on to what I said earlier about the sort of being open-minded and not bringing that sort of mindset to here. It's also is to please not wear any flash clothing items or material things, not wear any fancy luxury clothes or watches or jewelry, because yeah, as you probably know, people watching this, Colombia, in Colombia there's a phrase, Dar Papaya, which in other words means don't make yourself a target. Don't wear anything or show anything that would make an opportunist want to take advantage of you, because that does exist here. There are people that are, living rough. Colombia has improved a lot as a country in regards to its economic situation from where it came from not so long ago. But that's not to say that there are people here that are living borderline poverty and very low levels of socioeconomic situations. So people will take advantage of that. And yeah, if you're coming here wearing wearing a Rolex watch, that's several $1,000s, you have to realize that you're wearing 2 years worth of a salary on average on your wrist, and that's if you were in that situation, you saw that, and there was a chance for you to perhaps capitalize and make some profit or gain from that working with other people, then sure, you probably would be open to it, right? If you just had that on your wrist like that. So yeah, it would definitely help you with your personal situation, stop you from getting in any difficult situations with the people here that could lead to some pretty bad things. I mean, to be honest with you, the majority of the people that come here have a great time, don't really have any problems, to be honest. It's just that small percentage of people that you hear about on a daily, not daily basis, but on a regular basis of, he got drugged and robbed. He was wearing his jewelry and stuff, and he got drugged, and then he lost all of his money. It's just, have some common sense, respect the territory, and understand that, you're not in the United States or Europe. This isn't just a place where you can just do whatever you want. You have to respect the territory, and of course things will be more likely better for you. So yeah, don't wear any flash stuff, wave money around, drawing attention to yourself in a bad way that could leave you, because this is the thing, people that come here like that, they leave, they may suffer from a bad situation, and then they leave with a bad sense of what Colombia is because of their own sort of mistakes that they made. So that's not a true reflection of the actual general person from Colombia. Generally speaking, most people are just humble, day-to-day, hard-working, loving, and really warm people. That's just a small minority of people that unfortunately the world loves negative attention. Negativity sells, unfortunately, and that's what people always hear about. There's so much more positivity than negativity, to be honest, pretty much anywhere in the world, but mainstream media always likes to shed light on the negative stories to sell more and stuff. So yeah, just be low-key. The key is to be low-key. Don't draw attention to yourself, immerse, and you're gonna have a great time for sure without any problems. And finally, another tip I'd give is to don't just feel like online dating is the only way to meet women in Colombia, because there are so many opportunities to meet people in person, during the day. It doesn't have to be during the nightclub, during that night at the nightclub, discoteca, just to meet women that kind of way that most people back in the West would think and act to be the way to be. But yeah, so don't feel like you have to use Tinder or dating apps. To be honest, I wouldn't say that they're always bad, because yeah, you can meet some regular decent people on these apps, but there's always that risk, and of course when you have that sort of in-person organic interaction, it gives you that reassurance that you can have a sense of how the person really is. And of course that's not a guarantee to say that person's a decent person with good intentions, because you see them in person, you feel like the vibe's right. But I just say that it definitely gives you that greater sense of reassurance that meeting people online organically, you can see where their heads are, how they act, and this is another thing as well, the place where you meet the person would dictate a lot as to who they actually are. If you're meeting women in regular places where regular people go, whether it be the gym, the shopping, or whether it be in the street, one of the supermarkets, or just something like that, the coffee shop in a decent area, these are all implications as to the person being a good person or not, and with good intentions, that comes from a decent family, and it's less likely to really cause you any long-term mind games, so place where you meet the person definitely is a big implication as to where things may end up. That's not a guarantee, of course, that things can't be bad like anything in life, but definitely reduces that risk. So don't just feel like you have to stay on online dating apps to meet people. Although there are opportunities and a lot of options for that, of course, which can be good, but definitely reduces the risks of that. So yeah, be open-minded, be open to talking to people, and this all leads back to learning a language. It really is the key, because learning Spanish means you don't have to flex. You don't have to show off any fancy material things to impress people. You can just use your general energy and personality to immerse and interact in the language. Saves you to having to meet and sort of like play mind games to like give money to women who just take advantage of foreigners. People look at you in a different way when you speak the language in a good way. They give some respect. So if you please the people, like respect them, and they're more likely to respect you and play less sort of mind games and negative issues in the long term. So yeah, overall that's what I'd say. I mean, there's more to discuss and talk about, but those are some of the key sort of recommendations I give to anyone that's coming to Colombia, and especially those who are coming to actually live here and stay here for an extended period of time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the points I mentioned in this video. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. I hope everyone stays well. Blessings to everyone, and yeah, thank you.